Kenneth Blanchard, in his book, Leadership and the One-Minute Manager, he talks about 5 levels of leadership, and the highest being unlimited leadership potential. And I've watched Dale become that. I think most of you have too. And if you haven't, just stick around a little while, because I don't believe there's anybody else. See, we've heard that Dale's the most brilliant mind in network marketing. I don't agree. I think he is network marketing. Would you agree? Help me bring to the stage, and I know you need to kind of stretch right now so you can stand up anyway. Just make him think that's why you're standing up anyhow. But stand to your feet for me, stretch out, let the seat cushions expand, and bring our Director of Marketing for New Image International to the stage, Dale Calvert.
This wasn't a good idea. I'm serious. Now, I mean, parking it there. Do you understand why I feel so confident about our future with this group of leaders that just came up here, future leaders that have come down the road and internalized? And see, I know that there's many more of you that we didn't get to hear from this weekend. But I also realize that most people in this country have decision constipation. They can't make one. See, the thing that all these people had in common was what? They made a decision. They made a decision. And people come to meeting after meeting like this, and they sit and they sit. And it fascinates me. It fascinates me. When do they finally make the decision? Why do they wait so long? Why do they wait so long? Why don't they get in touch with what's happening here, with the potential within them, and just go ahead and make the decision? See, what frustrates me at sometimes is I know there's going to be people that are going to walk out of here after 3 days of what you've experienced and still not make that decision. But what turns me on is I know that some of you already have made that this weekend. I know that. This whole concept, this whole idea, I heard a story a few years ago, and I'm going to share that with you this afternoon. This whole decision-making process, it kind of reminds me of that. And it's the story of Moses. Moses was probably the most hated leader in history. He led over 3 million people out of bondage, and they hated his guts. As a matter of fact, they didn't listen to him very well, and because of that, they wandered around in the wilderness for quite a few years. 40 to be exact. See, that's what happens to people that don't follow leadership. That's what happens. You wander around. Moses was called to lead the Hebrew children out of bondage. And he and Aaron had to go talk to Pharaoh. He said, get Aaron and you all go tell Pharaoh that his goose is cooked if he doesn't set those people free. Or something like that. So they went to Pharaoh and they said, it's time to set our people free, and if you don't, God's going to release a plague of frogs all over your land. And Pharaoh, having false pride, says, bring them on. I'm not afraid of you little old frogs. You know, false pride keeps a lot of people broke. It keeps a lot of people down. They had the attitude, I was broke, I'm broke, my daddy was broke, my granddaddy was broke, and I'm going to have broke kids. We've been poor all our life, we're always going to be poor, and every now and then, once a month, we get to go to poor folks' restaurant and eat, and that's about all we can expect out of life. That's the attitude that some people have, false pride. Pharaoh said, bring the frogs on, so that's exactly what they did. Passed the rod over the creeks and the streams, and out of those creeks and streams came these slimy, stinking, smelling, nasty, green frogs. There was frogs everywhere. There was frogs hanging from the ceiling fans. There was frogs in the refrigerators. Something like that. You come in the evening, you'd sit down in your lazy boy and have your PJs on, prop your feet up, and frogs be crawling up your pants leg. You go to kiss your wife good night, and you reach over and a big frog right on her face and ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Frogs everywhere, disgusting, nasty frogs. It's disgusting living with frogs. Kind of like living with credit card debt. Kind of like living with going to a job every day that you don't like going to, being around people you don't like being around. It's kind of like not being able to send your kids to the kind of school that you want to. It's kind of like not being able to visit your grandkids because it costs too much to go there. It's disgusting living with frogs. It's disgusting living with frogs. Pharaoh got sick of it. When are you going to? When are you going to get sick of the frogs? Sick and tired of the frogs. Pharaoh says, I can't stand it no more. He said, find Moses, find Aaron, get those guys back. I got to talk to them. And he said, I give up, I get up, I give up. I'm going to set the people free. I'm going to set them free. Just get rid of these nasty old frogs. Just get rid of them. And Moses looked at Pharaoh and he said, as you wish, so shall it be done. When do you want the frogs released? And this is what blows my mind, because people have not changed. You know what Pharaoh's answer was? Tomorrow. Tomorrow? 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 One more night with those blasted frogs. Some of you are going to leave here after these 3 days, and you know what your response is going to be? Tomorrow. Why put off tomorrow what you can do today and what you should do today? Eventually, you're going to have to make the decision. Why not now? Why not now? Now's the time, guys. Now's the time. Tomorrow. Never heard the like. People come in a business like this, I see them walking into the opportunity meetings. We travel around, and you watch them when they walk in. It's just absolutely amazing. They walk in the opportunity like this. They got so many frogs hanging all over them that they can't hardly get to the seat. It's so bad. And we give them a chance to get rid of the frogs, shake them off. And you know what a lot of them's attitude is? Tomorrow. See, there's two decisions you got to make. The first one's to get in, but the second one is once you get in, do something with it. See, there's two decisions, not just getting in. Getting in, doing something, plugging in, then you'll have success. Not get in, stay in, and sit in your seat. Get in and do something with what you have. That's what creates success. Get rid of the frogs. You know why we don't? Because everybody else has got frogs. We look around and say, my goodness, my frogs aren't all that bad. Look at Joe. Look at all the frogs he's got. Mine aren't too bad. I got Fred Frog and Sally Frog. I got them named. I've gotten so comfortable with them. See, we become mass motivated. We do in mass. We look at what everybody else is doing, and we don't want to conform from that. We want to be like everybody else. We want to be normal. Let me give you a clue. Normal people don't do this business. We're looking for abnormal people. Listen, guys, it's not normal to dress your car up like a billboard. Signs everywhere, brochures hanging out the windows, flags, pictures of Ron's dog on the side windows. That's not normal, guys. But guess what? Normal people don't make abnormal income. We all start out in life, we got it made. We got it made. First 18 months, 2 years, we're in. We cry, people come and feed us. We boo-hoo, they rock us, and we get goo-goo too. We can do whatever we want our first couple years in life. We can go in our pants when we want to. We just sit back and got it made. And then we go into school, and in school we're taught, stay in line, follow directions, do exactly like everybody else is doing, get in line, go to the water fountain, get in line, go to lunch. We're taught to conform. We're taught to be like everybody else. And when we aren't like everybody else, we don't get love. We get reprimanded. So we go through life that way, and we're trying to be like everybody else. When we're kids, the number one thing we want is to be loved. That's what we want. That's what we're looking for. And we think to get love, we got to be like everybody else. And when we become adults, we have that same type of concept. We get up and go to work, and we know it doesn't work, but we just keep getting up and going to work because everybody else gets up and goes to work. We do what everybody else has done. All our life we thought, go to school, get a good education, go to work for a good company. And 95% of the people in this country, when they die, they can't even hardly afford their own funeral. And we just follow each other around. We're looking for individual thinkers. People that says, I know what I know, what I know. I know working a job ain't going to get me anywhere. I know what this opportunity's done for other people. I know this is a divine product. And I don't care if Uncle Harry gets it or not. I don't care if my co-workers understand or not. Because I know what I know, what I know, and I'm just going to stay the course. We follow each other around. It's just amazing. I watch them sometimes. Every now and then I'll get up early just to watch the people hustling and busting off to work. Kind of like sheep following each other around. Or I should say, I guess, frogs. Ribbit, 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 ribbit. Sooner or later, guys, you got to make the decision. Sooner or later, you got to make the decision. I love this business. I love what it's doing for lives. I love the people that are being touched. I love it. That's what inspires me. The lives that are being touched. When Jim DeVault ended his talk today, I was touched almost to my knees. You guys know I hate to read to you. Besides that, I'm not very good at it. I love to read, I'm just not good at it. It's hard for me to talk from my heart when I'm reading. That's what I mean. Y'all don't ever see me read, hardly ever. But I wrote a couple of things I just want to share with you before I end here that I wrote prior to coming down here Sunday afternoon for regional school. Some people feel it's too difficult to get rid of the frogs. They feel the business is too hard. I'll tell you what's hard. It's hard not being able to attend your son's basketball game because your JOB demands that you be out of town. It's hard when you have to cancel your family vacation because of a priority project your manager says has to be done. It's hard driving that rust bucket of a car, knowing it's eating you alive in maintenance, but you can't afford to get a new one. It's hard getting up every morning when the electronic rooster crows, going someplace you don't want to go to be around people that act like they're in the 3rd grade. It's hard going into a restaurant and have to look at the prices first. It's hard knowing that you've married a wonderful woman, promised her the world, and the next 30 years are spent making sacrifices to try to meet your budget. It's hard knowing the hype about a college degree and all the wealth it was supposed to bring was just that, hype. It's hard lowering your dreams to meet your means. It's hard building someone else's dream for 40 years only to realize that you will be retiring on 1/3 of what you can't live on today. It's hard when your beautiful daughter moves out of state and has a beautiful grandchild that you can't afford to visit very often. It's hard knowing that today the fish are biting, but you can't drop what you're doing to take your dad fishing. It's hard dropping your precious daughter off at a daycare, realizing that someone else will watch her take her first step. Or that your son will speak dada for the first time to the nursery school janitor. I didn't quite mean that the way y'all took it. It's hard raising your children's education or providing your child's college education based upon the lowest bidder instead of the finest facility. The problem in this country is we wake up too late. Look me in the eye and tell me that New Image is too hard. Time slips away day after day, TV show by TV show, bowling game by bowling game, golf game by golf game, craft class by craft class, missed opportunities by missed opportunities. But what are we doing about it? We rationalize, procrastinate, and avoid the really important issues of our life rather than face them. We are drawn into a world of escapism because somehow we feel if we don't think about it, it won't be there. But it's always there. It's always in our gut. It's always gnawing at us. That whisper inside of us called unused potential says, let's do it, let's go for it. But we always seem to be able to keep it down. It's trying to get our attention. It's trying to set us free. It's trying to help us believe in ourselves, but we just somehow won't listen to it. Too often we allow others to determine our future. We have no freedom as children. As teenagers, we rebel and scream for freedom. Young adults fight terrible wars for freedom. We become adults and relinquish our freedom because we think it's too hard. We fear the price is too high. We don't want to take responsibility. We feel it will take too much time or that others can, but I can't. Time passes on. And if we don't wake up now, someday, we will feel it's too late. You will use phrases like, I wish I'd, and if only I'd, if I could have just go back in time. You cannot. You cannot go back. So why are you waiting? I believe that the majority of people want to sing but die with their music still in them. Face the music and shoulder the responsibility. I honestly believe that you have chosen the right direction for your life. I believe that each one of you have a major role to play in the future of New Image International, and that you are here for a reason, but only you can fulfill that role and that reason. You have chosen your direction. If you choose not to spend your time wise, if you've chosen not to spend your time wisely up to this point, too bad. It's your fault. Blame yourself. But your past does not have to equal your future. There's an old cliche, but it's true. Today really is the first day of the rest of your life. This is your chance. Isn't it worth it? Why not work hard for 3 to 5 years and do what most people won't so you can do for the rest of your life what most people can't? Isn't it worth a couple of years of your life so you can drive a new car? Isn't it worth a couple of years to put your family in the home of their dreams? Isn't it worth a couple of years to have the choice to wake up at the crack of noon and then decide if you will roll out or roll over? Isn't it worth a couple of years to be able to take a sledgehammer to the electronic rooster? Isn't it worth a couple of years to be able to have the money to help your church raise money to build a new youth center or equip the choir room or pave the parking lot or send a child to camp? Isn't it worth a couple of years to have the time and money to become a big brother or a big sister or sponsor a needy family at Christmas? Isn't it worth a couple of years to be able to look back on your life when it was over and know that, yes, I did make a difference. I did fulfill my potential. How many more times do you have? I believe that every time the fire of inspiration starts to flicker inside of you and you start on the road to fulfill your destiny and you don't continue, you let that fire be squelched out by the cares of the world, it makes it that much more difficult to light the next time until eventually all the sparks are gone. Don't let this happen to you. What's it going to take to get you off dead center and realize the awesome God-given talents and skills that are inside of you wanting to be released? Realize the awesome power you have in your hands with New Image International. This is not a typical storefront business. This business you have chosen has the ability to change lives. Let me rephrase that. It, being New Image, cannot do anything. You are the one with life-changing capability. Y'all understand that? What are you waiting for? What is it going to take? Has the flame been lit in your heart this weekend? Has it? Then please guard it, protect it. Promise yourself to fan it with consistent activity when you return home. We all must pay a price for our decision and the actions that we take in this life. We have only two choices: discipline or regret. Discipline creates true freedom. Without discipline, we create our world of self-imposed limitations, bondage, and regret. The price of discipline or the price of regret? Which price do you choose to pay? I've got one more thought that I want to share with you. And I want every one of you here to understand that this last thought, it's me and you talking. It's not the person beside you. It's not the person behind you. It's me and you. It's me and you. This is for you. It's not for anybody but you. You got to get it. Don't sit here saying, I don't know what he's going to say, but I hope my downline hears it. It's for you. It's for you. I I've had the opportunity to meet many of you this weekend. Not as many as I'd wish, but I've shook as many hands as possible, and I still see blue from the pictures. And so many of you have come up to me and say, Dale, I can't put into words what you've done and what New Image has done. And I know all the nationals here, Ron, Stephanie, Audie, we've all heard that all weekend. And I know for them, like it is for me, it's just so humbling when people come up to you and just spill their heart. And I don't want you guys to take this wrong. But I want you to understand, to me, I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate it. You don't know what that does for me. But in reality, it's all words. It's all words. And I have people say, Dale, if I don't know what I'd ever do to repay you. I know what you can do to repay me tenfold. Tenfold. See, everything that we've done through our life, and again, there's no question in my mind that my life has prepared me for this time and place. I know that. But see, if you don't take it and use it and internalize it and take action on it, it's for nothing. My satisfaction comes when you walk across this stage as a national director in this company. That is the only time that I truly, truly have the reward. I'm not set up where I appreciate everything and I appreciate the words, but my true reward comes when you walk across this stage. You know, I have a lot of frogs in my life now that I never had anticipated. I've got problems and people and phone calls and pressure, and I go through things that I never really wanted. But I love my life. I love this company. You know, I know the Lord doesn't put you anywhere you're not supposed to be, so I'm comfortable in it. All I'm saying is I never envisioned what we have. I never envisioned being a director of marketing for anything. And it's a whole new game plan for me. And many times that I feel that I don't have the freedom that maybe I wish I had. But you know what Jim Rohn talks about? He says, all the sacrifice in the world is worth it when you're dealing with the lives of other people. And I believe that. I know that. There's no more gratifying feeling than to see lives touched. But guys, get out your frog gigger. Get it out. Get it out. Start killing those frogs. Learn to love the taste of frog legs. My rewards come when you walk across the stage as a national director. And I hope that all of you understand that truly is my driving force. And that truly is my hope and prayer for each one of you. Thanks for being with us, guys.
This concludes tonight's New Image Satellite Showcase. We hope you've enjoyed this evening's training. But more importantly, it's our desire that you take the information you've learned and put it into action. Have a productive week, and be sure to tune in next week to the New Image Satellite Showcase.